Welcome to the desert of the real.
Everything is good. But I was just sitting here. I had a couple of minutes tonight. I was just listening to the call, and the answer to your question on why we can't just come together and get it done is because there's more money in the research than there is the cure. That's the answer to your question. It won't get done because if they come together and get everything done, then what? It ain't no, I mean, it can't be no more, it can't be any more, look at me, it can't be no more points to be made and this and that, and that's messing up their flow. Like, you can't mess up, the flow, all that, let's get together shit, nah, you messing me up. And that's the basic problem.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. You're saying that there's money to be made in researching and trying to figure out the problem, but no money in the actual problem is, well, I won't say no money in the actual problem itself, but that's like an unknown variable that nobody wants to take a chance on.
Right. It's when you can do all your speaking tours and your lecture circuits and put out your DVDs and the books and all of that. That's where your money is. But now once everybody takes this information, receive it, and put it into play, then what? We don't need the book no more. We have it. So now you there's no more. I mean, I don't need you to go to 10 different places and lecture. I need you in this one place putting your piece of the puzzle into action. Well, like you said, I don't know exactly how much money I'm going to make off that, so I'm not too willing to just go ahead and do that. I still got a few more dollars to be made. But like the brother Scotty was talking about and the brother Kamal and you, like I said, that's the one, when we talk, the one thing I always tell you is brothers and sisters like y'all, I give y'all all the credit in the world and all the love in the world because you know how I feel about the people. Fuck the people. I'm not even into that no more. Because it would take so much reprogramming and re-education and stripping down everything that you've been taught, and in some cases not even taught, just straight up conditioned to believe. And another thing, nobody's going to have, like you always talk about the institutions of learning of our own. Well, you got to remember who you dealing with and who you trying to teach. Of course, the people that are of like mind will come and participate, but then you have the faction of people that don't think that learning about themselves and your own education is worth as much as the other's education or worth as much as going to a whole different school. Well, yeah, I could go to this black institution of higher learning, but it might not be too accepted by mainstream society, namely white society, so nah, I'm not going to mess with y'all like that. So other than a grassroots support from, like I said, people of like mind, it would be hard for it to succeed. Now, is that fair or is that right? No, but is that the way it is? I think so. That's what I call the Martin Luther King syndrome, but I won't even get into that.
Well, that you raise an excellent point. I really can't argue with that point. Only thing I would say is that I think that when you concentrate on the new generation, when you concentrate on putting the infrastructure in place to get the kids that have yet to go through the full brainwashing process, that's the only real counter to it. I don't want to, like these grown folks that's
right,
grown adults.
But you got to remember, though.
I can't feel you. I mean, what are we going to do? There's going to be a few of those grown folks that really want to change, but for the vast majority of them, they done. Whatever
right,
they
but
feel,
you got to
they
remember,
feel.
the kids, the children that you're trying to reach belong to these same grown folks. Remember, the same grown folks you're talking about, that not the ones that want to change, the other ones that would be resistant to it. The children, I mean, the whole generation of children belong to these same grown folks, and that's the problem that we run into.
Mhm. Yeah, that is going to be a problem. That is definitely going to be a problem. But I feel that we have enough to get things started. I really do. I feel we got enough pieces in place to get something started that can eventually lead to a groundswell. But what I agree with you 1,000% on your assessment of the problem, because I came to the same conclusion. And I stated it on this show many times. I've come to the same exact conclusion. As long as there's a profit to be made in researching the problem instead of actually solving it, then we're going to stay right where we are. We're going to keep hearing so-and-so tell you that they are the chosen one. I'm the Mahdi. I'm the leader. I'm the this. I'm the that. I'm the last Messiah. I'm Neo. You're going to hear all of this shit, and nothing is ever going to get solved. Because people want to have this leader figure that they can look to and worship somebody's personality instead of actually us looking at this thing from a systematic viewpoint and working it out.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, like I'm sure a lot of your listeners and a lot of people that know you, they don't know me, but they don't know how close I've been to the situation for a number of years. So just listening, I mean, just from back when we tried to do it some 15, 17 years ago, all the runaround that we used to get, and from when we got the runaround, the bullshit answers that was given to why they couldn't do it, and this and that, and just sort of like putting two and two together. Like I said, from all the years of just listening to people and the posturing and the I'm this, like you said, I'm the new this and I'm the way and the light and all that bullshit. Just listening to all of that, you come to this, it's like, yeah, that's what it is. This shit is just like the pharmaceutical industry. It's more money to be made from doing your lecture tours and writing your books and giving your hypotheses and your theories and all of that. Because, like we said, once you go, okay, you know what, this is what we're going to create, and I want you to head this. Well, now you don't have time to write no more books. You don't need the books no more. Now it's time for you to actually put your shit into action.
Right.
And there's no, like we said, I don't know exactly how much I'm gonna make off this. I mean, I'll put it into action, but I'm not quite sure what this is going to do for me monetarily and individually. Like, fighting for the rights of the people and trying to educate is good and all that, but rent man need his money.
Mortgage got.
And you know what? I want to harken back to what you was talking about, what we attempted to do years ago, and really this validates the point that Kamal was making. Our basic premise, Kamal, and everybody else in the chat room, that we were basing this on was, you had the Hebrew Israelites, you had the Nation of Islam, you had the Nation of Gods and Earths, and you had the Ansar Allah community, which was transformed into the Nuwabu. Is that what it is? Nuwabian Nation. They were Ansar Allah Muslims before that. But the common thread in all of these groups is, in one form or another, the white man being the devil. I mean, not all of them used the term the devil, but it's like they felt that the white man was a force or a problem in all of their ideologies and all of their doctrines. So you would figure, if you have a common denominator, like you all have the same enemy, then that's a hell of a thing to rally around, right? And so us being young and stupid, naive to the ways of the world, to say, well, why don't we get these groups together and then we can try to form something with these groups? And that was the most educational experience of my life. I don't know about you fellas. You all can speak for yourself.
Yeah,
but for me, that transformed that transformed a lot about what I felt. Because like I've always said, when you're 18, when you're in your teens, you think you know everything. When you're in your 20s, everything you think you know comes into full contact with the world. And then your 30s is the result or the aftermath of that battle. By 40s, you pretty much settled into your groove, into what you feel comfortable with and what you've matured into. But that 20s, into that whole, from the teens into the 20s, you go full scale with your ideologies and with your preconceived notions about what you think reality is, and it gets head on with the world. And when that 30 hit, you're going to have a totally different point of view, or something is going to transform and change. And that 30s is going to be the aftermath of that battle. And that's exactly how it happened for me. So we can't unify,
that's about right.
If we can't unify off of, and which gets to the point that Kamal was making, if we can't unify off common interest, then what else can we unify off of? It has to be some cultural consistency. It has to be something based on innately who we are, where our people come from, our epistemology as African people, and that's a story that is uniquely ours. And we gotta tell that story. We gotta design our systems on our epistemology, not some foreign interpretation of our epistemology, which is where, and religion is just a part of that, like, because we tend to talk about the foreign interpretations of religion, but it's not just religion. It's across the board of our culture.
It has become,
religion is just a part of it.
It has become irrelevant. Our culture is irrelevant to us. So if it's irrelevant to us, then how in the world do you make it relevant? I mean, who cares what our culture is? Who cares where we come from? We're here now. Life is good. Everything is okay.
Well, I can answer that question.
Well, I can too, but the answer that you
should care.
the interest, but the answer that you're gonna give is not gonna be received, and by most people, once again, because they don't care about it.
Mhm. But my thing is, you got enough people who do. What's their problem? And which gets back to what you said. So it's like layer upon layer upon layer of bullshit.
Mhm.
Because the people who do care, the people who have made this their call, have no interest in getting together with each other. I mean, like I said, you try to get Dr. Sebi and Dr. Afrika in the same place together. It's like trying to get Michael Jackson and Prince together. It ain't gonna happen.
Nope.
Because my holistic healing is better than yours.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It ain't going to be where they come together and form like some type of health council where you can have Dr. Sebi, Dr. Afrika, all of these doctors and nutritionists can be on the same council and studying and doing research to try to find out what's factual, what's, mythological, what's actually real. Is a carrot good for you, or does a carrot contain arsenic and will kill you? Can we determine that through research? But see, that's when you're thinking about doing something, which gets back to the point that you were making.